So Robot Champions is this weird mix of like ultra passion and lessons learned. So kind of the business reality side of things. Like we want to, so it starts with we want to make this game about robot combat because we grew up with Robot Wars and BattleBots and whatnot, and we just love that, so we want to do it. And that was matched with this was more me in the team going, right, well, from a product standpoint, from like a marketplace standpoint, does this actually have, does this fulfill any kind of consumer needs? Does it fit in the market? Do we think that we can do all these things? And there was and it worked, and it was like, yes, this absolutely makes sense to make. Unlike Unbox, which was driven entirely from we want to make a game, and we stumbled onto this weird, wacky thing about boxes rolling around. And I grew up playing Super Mario and Banjo-Kazooie, so it's like, let's do that. And we didn't think about the kind of commercial needs of the product. We didn't think about the consequences of building our entire lives for 3 years around a game about sentient cardboard. So with Robot Champions, we very much did think about those things, but in the context of 2019 going into 2020 and what the world is looking like and the industry is like, I mean, I had a big conversation with Chris, who's our lead designer, just yesterday actually about this, that when Unbox finished, we were able to look back and go, well, these were our mistakes. In hindsight, these are the things that we would have done differently, and these are the mistakes we made, and these are the things we should have looked out for. And there were a lot of lessons learned. And Unbox was the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life, up until Robot Champions, which has been tremendously harder. And we've been making it for about a year, and so much has gone wrong. A tremendous amount has been just has not worked. But we looked back at the past year and went, well, in hindsight, I can't see the mistakes we made. Like when we didn't have the ability to raise publisher funding, because we'd gone and talked to publishers and they said no, so we spoke to banks and they said no, so we figured out a new way to make the game. And then that ended up not working. And it was like, at least before 2 + 2 = 4, I could see mistakes with Unbox and go, right, that's why this didn't work out to the level I wanted it to. It wasn't a failure, but it wasn't the success that it could have been. I look back at Robot Champions and go, 2 + 2 = go screw yourself. And it's like, what? Like, we're doing all the right things, and I think it's because things are massively changing this industry right now. People are making money, and it's making things harder and harder. And I've said in many interviews in the past, like, when we released Unbox, that felt like we were just shooting through a closing door. It felt like there was some kind of a door closing on the games industry, like a part of the industry, and we just got through. And we had a lot of publishers tell us, like, if you'd released Unbox 2-3 years prior, you'd have made 5-10 times the amount of money. And there was we couldn't quite put our finger on it, but it just felt like opportunities were coming to an end, and we released Unbox just at the right moment. And now I know that was the case because the period of making Robot Champions and then watching my friends who make games and just the industry as a whole, watching how things have played out over the past year or two has been rough, and living through it has been rough. So it's like, okay, we're going to get Robot Champions finished and we're going to make it as much of a success as we can do. But if this has been our experience on this game over 2018, 2019, like, what the hell does 2020 look like? How difficult is that going to be? Because if combining the real passionate core of wanting to make games with the real hard reality of this is what it's like to run a business and make products, if combining those two things together results in things that don't make any sense, and I know that that's what everybody else is going through, then it's like, you can't plan for the future. What the hell do we do next? Something I think about every day. I think everybody else in the industry is doing the same thing, but nobody's coming up with any kind of solid answers. It's extremely scary, because for me, this is 10 years of my life. I've been doing prospects in one form or another. Started as a mod group, became a company. Along the way, I've tried to do events and all these other things, but this has been my life for a decade. And at least every step of the way, I knew that when things went wrong, I could pretty much pin it on myself. It didn't matter if a business screwed us over or somebody quit or didn't do the work. It's like, at the end of the day, I could see where my responsibilities led to things going wrong. That is less the case now. There's still mistakes I'm making, but I'm doing the right thing and it's not working. And other people are saying the same thing, and it's like that. It's just terrifying what the next 10 years look like if that's how we're starting, the 2020s.